Hi, my name's Aiden Scott, and when I was 8 years old, I was diagnosed with ADHD, anxiety, and a learning disability, now more commonly referred to as dyslexia. Um, I'm not here to say that just because I have these, I have the privilege to talk about them. I'm just here to express my views on them and what it's like to grow up having these disabilities. When I was younger, like before I was diagnosed, I would come home after school and just be completely destroyed. Like I'd come home crying, I'd fall on the floor, just have complete mental breakdowns. And like this was an ongoing thing. Like this was happening almost every day. Uh, my school life was okay, nothing great. Like a lot of kids, I got bullied and picked on. And to me, it felt like more because it was my disabilities growing up. Uh, and I would never advocate for myself. I would never speak up. I'd always just take the insults and just be on my way. I'd always just take it. I wasn't exactly the smartest kid either. I got a lot of low C and D grades in elementary school. Um, it uh, it was elementary school was a really hard time for me, um, but at the time, like I was kind of experimenting with medication just to help myself, and I honestly I can't stress enough how important it is to, if your child does have a learning disability, is to see a specialist and try to get them on medication, because you will see a huge change. Like for me, like there's a huge jump in everything, and it was like the be all and end all. Like it was a great time for me. Like it was a huge jumping point. Like my mom would always use this expression: is if you needed glasses to see, why wouldn't you wear them? And for me, that stuck with me. Um, like I took the medication for a couple years, and then I wanted to see what it was like to be off of it and kind of just like be genuinely myself. And as much as I wanted to deny it, there was a difference. But like for me, I didn't want to feel different. I wanted to be like my friends. I wanted to be normal. But looking back on that, that's bullshit. um, for me, like I always grew up playing sports. I was a pretty physically active kid. But as I got older and became more mature and learned myself out a lot more, um, I was able to figure out when I was feeling off. Like the best way I could describe it is just like it's like levels. And for me, like if my ADHD and my anxiety are like rising up, like the higher it goes, like the bigger an explosion of like just like an outburst it would be. But it could just be someone just saying hello. It wouldn't have to be anything big. It could just be like the smallest thing, and it just be a trigger. So like what I do for myself is I go outside and I shoot hockey pucks, go out on the trampoline, just do something physically active, where I know I could be by myself, but no one would be around that I could get mad at. Um, Growing up in like this day and age is hard because of bullying at this point, especially with like social media and everything else. I feel like it's a lot more difficult than what people think it actually is. But thankfully for me, growing up, I had three best friends. Unfortunately, when I got to high school, one of them went to a different school, and we kind of drifted apart. But like I still see him every now and then. But the other two, well, they're pretty much family to me, and they've helped me in ways that they'll never know. Um, Grade 9 for me was probably like the hardest year of my life. Uh, it was also the lowest point of my life. I I just got bullied so much, so hard. I didn't see an end to it. I ended up seriously contemplating suicide. I wrote a note. I it was it wasn't an easy time for me in my life, but with the help of my friends and family, they picked me up, put me back on my feet, and well, got me to where I am today. And like, I know one of the hardest things to do is to talk to people, but I can't stress it enough that it is the best thing you can do. Um, like, just open up to somebody. It doesn't have to be a close friend. You don't, like, it could be just someone you know enough that you can trust. Um, Talk to your parents, talk to your best friend, like anybody that will give you the time of day to try to help you. For me, I talked to my parents about it, and my best friends were there too. Uh, and my parents gave me like that stereotypical, like, oh, just ignore them, they'll go away. And like in the back, man, I'm just like, no, they won't. Like, that's the dumbest thing ever. But just like one day, I just, you know what, why not? Like, just try it. And I just ignored these people, and within the next couple days, gone from my life. I, like, hand on the Bible, like, excuse me, like, it worked like a charm. Like, within like 4 or 5 days, they were gone. Like, it was, like, I was living in a different world at this point. I was so happy. Near the end of grade 10 for me, my body started changing from like hitting like puberty and everything else. I started filling out a lot more. I got a bit bigger, which really helped with like my self confidence, and just my character as well. But what I really just want to end up saying is just like, if you are going through a hard time with either bullying or a mental disorder, please talk to somebody. Talk to me, message me. I'll listen to you. I'll help you figure out something that you can do to help yourself, like, just figure out a strategy that'll best fit you. There's always something that you can do. There will be, like, you have to go through the hard times to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but honestly, I can say that it's worth it. Please try. One of my favorite quotes is from my dad, that he told me from when I was younger. There are two important times in a man's life. The first is the day he's born, and the second is the reason he finds out why. Live to find out the second reason.